Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest planet in our solar system. Adorned with thousands of beautiful ringlets, Saturn is unique among the planets. Saturn isn't the only planet to have rings, but it definitely has the most beautiful ones. It is not the only planet to have rings, made of chunks of ice and rock, but none are as spectacular or as complicated as Saturn's. Like fellow gas giant Jupiter, Saturn is a massive ball made mostly of hydrogen and helium. Saturn has 146 moons. From the jets of water that spray from Saturn's moon Enceladus to the methane lakes on smoggy Titan, the Saturn system is a rich source of scientific discovery and still holds many mysteries. The farthest planet from Earth discovered by the unaided human eye, Saturn has been known since ancient times. The planet is named for the Roman god of agriculture and wealth, who was also the father of Jupiter. Saturn's environment is not conducive to life as we know it. The temperatures, pressures, and materials that characterize this planet are most likely too extreme and volatile for organisms to adapt. While planet Saturn is an unlikely place for living things to take hold, the same is not true of some of its many moons. Satellites like Enceladus and Titan, home to internal oceans, could possibly support life. With a radius of 36,183.7 miles, 58,232 kilometers, Saturn is 9 times wider than Earth. If Earth were the size of a nickel, Saturn would be about as big as a volleyball. From an average distance of 886 million miles, 1.4 billion kilometers, Saturn is 9.5 astronomical units away from the Sun. From this distance, it takes sunlight 80 minutes to travel from the Sun to Saturn. Saturn has the second shortest day in the solar system. One day on Saturn takes only 10.7 hours, the time it takes for Saturn to rotate or spin around once, and Saturn makes a complete orbit around the Sun, a year in Saturnian time, in about 29.4 Earth years, 10,756 Earth days. Saturn is home to a vast array of intriguing and unique worlds, ranging from tiny moonlets only tens of meters across to the enormous Titan, which is larger than the planet Mercury. From the haze-shrouded surface of Titan to crater-riddled Phoebe, each of Saturn's moons tells another piece of the story surrounding the Saturn system. Saturn has 146 moons, of which 63 are officially named. This does not include the hundreds of moonlets in its rings. Saturn is home to a vast array of intriguing and unique worlds. From the haze-shrouded surface of Titan to crater-riddled Phoebe, each of Saturn's moons tells another piece of the story surrounding the Saturn system. Titan, at 5,149 kilometers diameter, is the second largest moon in the solar system and Saturn's largest. Out of all the large moons, Titan is the only one with a dense surface pressure of 1.5 atmospheres, cold atmosphere, primarily made of nitrogen with a small fraction of methane. The dense atmosphere frequently produces bright white convective clouds, especially over the South Pole region. On June 6, 2013, scientists at the IAEXIT reported the detection of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons in the upper atmosphere of Titan. On June 23, 2014, NASA claimed to have strong evidence that nitrogen in the atmosphere of Titan came from materials in the Oort cloud associated with comets, and not from the materials that formed Saturn in earlier times. The surface of Titan, which is difficult to observe due to persistent atmospheric haze, shows only a few impact craters and is probably very young. It contains a pattern of light and dark regions, flow channels and possibly cryovolcanoes. Some dark regions are covered by longitudinal dune fields shaped by tidal winds, where sand is made of frozen water or hydrocarbons. Titan is the only body in the solar system beside Earth with bodies of liquid on its surface, in the form of ethane lakes in Titan's north and south polar regions. The largest lake, Kraken Mare, is larger than the Caspian Sea. Like Europa and Ganymede, it is believed that Titan has a subsurface ocean made of water mixed with ammonia, which can erupt to the surface of the Moon and lead to cryovolcanic. On July 2, 2014, NASA reported the ocean inside Titan may be as salty as the Earth's Dead Sea. Saturn's rings are thought to be pieces of comets, asteroids, or shattered moons that broke up before they reached the planet, torn apart by Saturn's powerful gravity. They are made of billions of small chunks of ice and rock coated with other materials such as dust. The ring particles mostly range from tiny, dust-sized icy grains to chunks as big as a house. A few particles are as large as mountains. The rings would look mostly white if you looked at them from the cloud tops of Saturn, and interestingly, each ring orbits at a different speed around the planet. Saturn's ring system extends up to 175,000 miles, 282,000 kilometers, from the planet, yet the vertical height is typically about 30 feet, 10 meters in the main rings. Named alphabetically in the order they were discovered, the rings are relatively close to each other, with the exception of a gap measuring 2,920 miles, 4,700 kilometers, in width called the Cassini division that separates rings A and B. The main rings are A, B, and C. Rings D, E, F, and G are fainter and more recently discovered. Starting at Saturn and moving outward, there is the D ring, C ring, B ring, Cassini division, A ring, F ring, G ring, and finally, the E ring. Much farther out, there is the very faint Phoebe ring in the orbit of Saturn's moon Phoebe. A persisting hexagonal wave pattern around the north polar vortex in the atmosphere at about 78 degrees north was first noted in the Voyager images. The sides of the hexagon are each about 14,500 kilometers, 9,000 miles, long, which is longer than the diameter of the Earth. The entire structure rotates with a period of 10 hours, 39 minutes, 24 seconds, the same period as that of the planet's radio emissions, which is assumed to be equal to the period of rotation of Saturn's interior. The hexagonal feature does not shift in longitude like the other clouds in the visible atmosphere. The pattern's origin is a matter of much speculation. Most scientists think it is a standing wave pattern in the atmosphere. Polygonal shapes have been replicated in the laboratory through differential rotation of fluids. The planet Saturn is very large. It is the second largest planet in the solar system. However, the most fascinating fact about Saturn is that it consists of mostly hydrogen with some helium. Moreover, it is less dense than water. This means it is lighter than water. Since it is lighter than water, it can float on water if we can place a water tube big enough that Saturn could go inside it. Thank you. Subscribe our channel and press the like button, press the bell icon to get the next video notification. See you in next space adventure.